So, are we actually supposed to believe this new tough talk from Trump towards Vladimir Putin? Call me skeptical. If you don't know what I'm referring to here, Trump is now threatening Putin, saying that if he doesn't cut some sort of a peace deal with Ukraine in the next 50 days, that Trump is going to begin sending arms and weapon systems to Ukraine. And pretty serious weapon systems, including, as he says, weapons, long-range missiles that could reach Moscow. Now, what to make of this? Because Donald Trump, up until now, has acted as if he were Vladimir Putin's personal hand puppet. He has sided with Putin at every single turn. Never calls Putin out on anything, not in any real way. Instead, he directs all of his anger at Ukraine and President Zelensky. But only now, with all this Epstein stuff swirling all around, does he begin to talk tough. And what's important about this is that he's not doing this immediately. Again, he's giving him 50 days, right? And we all know what Donald Trump's deadlines mean. They don't mean shit. I mean, he didn't earn the name Taco for nothing. Trump always chickens out. Even over tariffs, he sets these deadlines and he pushes them back. He sets these tariffs, he walks them back, he's back and forth. Nobody believes this guy, even over tariffs. Which is why every time he announces new tariffs now or new tariff threats, the markets just yawn because nobody believes him. Until he actually does something, no one takes him seriously anymore. So a 50-day, oh, you got 50 days to work this out? This coming from the piece of shit who said that he was going to end the war in Ukraine within the first 24 hours of taking office. Now he's, after 6 months, now he's giving him another 50 days? I mean, are we really supposed to believe this? Now let me read a little bit of an article here about this. Donald Trump sending long-range weapons to Ukraine could be a game changer for the war, helping halt Vladimir Putin's nightly blitzes, experts said. Trump, who appears to be growing increasingly frustrated with Putin, is set to announce an aggressive new weapons plan to support Ukraine. Now, by the way, I have no doubt that he is growing increasingly frustrated. Donald Trump, I really believe that he thought that he would be able to end the war in 24 hours. He really is that fucking stupid. And he thought that he has this great relationship with Putin and he'd just be able to pick up the phone and Putin would agree. Because he only invaded Ukraine after all because Biden was president, I guess. I mean, none of it makes any sense. And so I really think that this idiot thought that he could end the war in 24 hours. And I really think he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, he keeps talking about it. His people keep talking about it. You have Netanyahu nominating him for it. I mean, I think he really, really wants a Nobel Peace Prize. He was hoping he'd get one for bombing Iran. I don't know how that works. I don't know why he would expect to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for bombing Iran, but whatever. And I think he really wants a Nobel Peace Prize for ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. And so I don't doubt that he's frustrated. He's probably also frustrated because he has come to learn that Putin doesn't give a shit what Trump says about anything. You know, how many times has Trump said, oh, I just got off the phone with Putin and we have the framework for a peace deal. And as soon as Trump comes out and says that, Putin bombs Ukraine again, just to say, F you, Trump, you don't tell me what to do. So I don't doubt that the Orange God King is frustrated. Anyway, let me read a little more of this. He has promised to send Patriot surface-to-air missile systems, which are used to stop incoming missiles, to Ukraine. But he has also suggested that the U.S. would supply, quote, very sophisticated military hardware to Ukraine. So are we really supposed to take this man at face value? That's it. He's had enough. You got 50 days, Putin, and then I'm shipping all these weapon systems to Ukraine, including long-range missiles that can reach Moscow, because I've had it with you, and you're going to make a deal, damn it, or I'm going to arm Ukraine. Are we really supposed to believe that? Sorry, I'm not buying it, especially given when it's coming. This is just, what is this? I'm speaking to you now on Monday. This is just 2 days after Trump's desperate, unhinged, lunatic post on Truth Social begging people to stop talking about Epstein. Can we please talk about something else? Hunter's laptop. Let's go back to talking about that. Just stop talking about Epstein. That didn't work. Obviously, blew up in his face, had the exact opposite effect. Everyone's talking about it even more. And talking about how freaking desperate he is. This is the biggest problem he's had, the biggest threat to him with his cult base in 10 years. This is the first time he has had people openly, among his cult on the MAGA right, openly breaking with him and questioning him and questioning whether he's a part of the deep state and why won't you do it? And so it's very suspicious that he would come out with this tough talk towards Putin right in the midst of his panic about the Epstein files. And by the way, apparently Ghislaine Maxwell, who's doing 20 years in prison, the only person who's gone to prison in connection with all this Epstein stuff, apparently is making it known through her contacts that she is willing to tell all to Congress. You don't think that panics Trump? But of course, the Republicans in Congress are going to run interference. They're not going to let that happen. But here she is wanting to talk. She doesn't need to appear before Congress to start talking. So who knows? But I have no doubt that Donald Trump is panicked. We know he's panicked. We know he's in those files. We know he is suffering, great damage politically by having the cult in revolt. And so we know he's desperate to change the subject. So what do you think is more likely? That Donald Trump is serious in his tough talk towards Putin, or is this more of the same of him desperately trying to change the subject? Now, I hope that the tough talk is real. I hope we start arming Ukraine, because that would be the best for Ukraine, and it would be the best for the United States. It would be the best for the world, for Ukraine to be able to fight Russia and win this war and to defend themselves. But I just don't buy it. Sorry. I wasn't born yesterday. I don't believe this for a second. I think it's much more likely, although I could be wrong, I don't know, but I think it's much more likely that this is all to change the subject, because this is what the media is going to run with today, I'm sure. This is to change the subject, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. In fact, I'd rather, if this is to change the subject, I would expect that he told Putin that he was going to do this. Look, I'm in a shitstorm over here. I've got to change the subject. You know, I'm not going to send weapon systems to Ukraine, but I've got to change the subject. And if I threaten you a little bit, and that I'm going to send these weapons to Ukraine, that'll get all the attention, and maybe that will kick the Epstein topic out of the news, and it will save my ass. So please just let me do this. You know, at the end of the day, I'm going to give you, Vlad, whatever you want. In fact, who knows? Maybe Putin demanded some more. Oh, okay, I will do this for you, but you must give me these 5 things now. I mean, who the hell knows? But I don't buy it. Don't buy it. I think he's full of shit. This is to change the subject. And I don't think he would have done anything to antagonize his puppet master Putin. In fact, if we're talking about Epstein files, you don't think Russia has those files? I kind of do. I think they have those files and a hell of a lot more. But I could be wrong. But what I don't think I'm wrong about, and I actually hope that I am, is that this is all distraction. This is to change the subject because he's panicked. What do you think? Am I wrong? Is this real? I hope it's real, but what do you think? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.